That's a mismatch all around. I don't think Cleveland has anybody that can guard Jalen Brunson in this series. That's where it comes in. You know, Cat, you have Evan Mobley. If he plays two-way like he's played in that last series against Detroit, he can kind of somewhat neutralize Carl Sabonis, as you would say. Like, he's out there playing like Arvydas Sabonis. But when it comes to Jalen Brunson, you have Donovan Mitchell, you have James Harden. Like, they're decent size, but Jalen Brunson's too quick. He's too crafty.
The New York Knicks have had 8 full days to rest, recover, and prepare for the series. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers are coming in with all the momentum after surviving a tough Game 7, and then marching into Detroit to dismantle the Eastern Conference's top seed by 31 points. It wasn't just one player carrying the load either. Donovan Mitchell controlled the game with 26 points, 8 assists, and remarkably, 0 turnovers. Evan Mobley dominated both ends of the floor with 21 points and 12 rebounds. Jarrett Allen added an efficient 23 points. And Sam Merrill provided a huge spark off the bench, knocking down 5 three-pointers. On paper, both teams entered this matchup in excellent form, but they've taken very different paths to get here.
3 seconds left. Brunson got it! Jalen Brunson ends the first half with a bang! Robinson steps up. Mitchell right past him. Oh, Mitchell! He is a magician!
These two teams may be meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they could have taken more different roads to get here. The New York Knicks have completely steamrolled the Eastern Conference. Through the first 2 rounds, they've outscored opponents by an astonishing 19.4 points per game, the best 2-round point differential since the NBA adopted the 16-team playoff format in 1984. No team has entered the conference finals playing this dominant in more than 40 years. Cleveland's journey has been the exact opposite. The Cavaliers survived 2 grueling 7-game series, first against Toronto, then against Detroit, before making a statement by walking into the top seed, building and winning by 31 points. They've been tested, they've been battle-hardened, and they've answered every challenge as to what will actually decide this series. It comes down to 3 key storylines. The offensive transformation that turned the Knicks into the most dangerous team left in the East, the one Cavaliers player who will determine just how far Cleveland can go, and a hidden matchup inside this series that almost nobody is talking about, but could end up deciding everything. Let's break it all down. That we'll start with New York, because I don't think enough people have realized just how dramatically this team has changed over the last few weeks. When the Knicks fell behind Atlanta 2-1 in the opening round, the criticism came from every direction. People questioned whether Jalen Brunson could carry the offense by himself. They argued Karl Anthony Towns would become unplayable in the postseason because of his defense. It felt like we'd seen this movie before, a talented Knicks team that simply wasn't built for a deep playoff run. Then everything changed. New York responded by winning 7 straight games. They swept Philadelphia, exploded for 144 points in the closeout game, and tied an NBA playoff record by knocking down 25 three-pointers. But the wins weren't the biggest surprise. The biggest surprise was how their offense evolved. This isn't the same Knicks team that stumbled to the first few games of the playoffs. They're faster, they're more unpredictable, and they're creating quality looks from every area of the floor. Before we get into what changed, let's look at the personnel. Everything starts with Jalen Brunson. He's still the heartbeat of this offense, averaging 27.4 points and 6.1 assists per game, while shooting nearly 41% from beyond the arc. He's New York's closer, their late clock creator, and the player Cleveland has to contain above everyone else. Expect the Cavaliers to throw multiple defenders at him throughout the series. Max Struss, Dennis Schroeder, and even Isaac Okoro could all take turns trying to slow him down, with Jarrett Allen waiting in drop coverage whenever Brunson turns the corner. The problem? Brunson has shown all postseason that it doesn't really matter who's guarding him. He gets to his spots, controls the pace, and consistently finds ways to make the right play. Then there's Karl Anthony Towns. Since New York's offensive breakthrough during the Atlanta series, Towns has looked like a completely different player. He's averaging 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 6.6 assists while shooting an incredible 58% from the field and 48% from 3. More importantly, he's become the ultimate matchup nightmare for Cleveland, and that could end up being the biggest swing factor in the entire series.
Cutting Clarkson hits a right-hand layup on McCollum. 8 assists in 21 minutes for Karl Anthony Towns.
The biggest reason this series could swing in New York's favor is the evolution of their offense. Instead of relying solely on Jalen Brunson to create every possession, the Knicks have transformed Karl-Anthony Towns into a true offensive hub, operating from the elbow in the short roll. Towns is reading the floor, making plays, and forcing defenses to react, which frees Brunson to work off the ball, conserve energy, and attack scrambling defenders rather than constantly facing double teams. Add in a healthy OG Anunoby's elite two-way impact, Mikal Bridges' efficient scoring and perimeter defense, Josh Hart's relentless rebounding, and a deep bench that provides shooting, defense, and energy, and New York suddenly has one of the most versatile lineups left in the playoffs. That evolution becomes even more important against Cleveland, whose defense is built around a towering rim protection of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. If Towns can pull those big men away from the basket and force them into difficult decisions, he could completely reshape the way this series is played. At Cleveland's defense is built around the elite front court of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, two of the best interior defenders in basketball. But Karl-Anthony Towns presents a problem they rarely have to solve. What do you do when the 7-footer you're supposed to guard is standing 25 feet from the basket, running the offense instead of posting up? If Mobley stays near the rim, Towns has all the time in the world to knock down threes or pick the defense apart with passes to cutters and shooters. If Mobley steps out to pressure him, the paint suddenly opens up for Jalen Brunson, who thrives attacking drop coverage, getting his floater, or collapsing the defense before kicking the ball out to New York shooters. There isn't an easy answer. That's why the Knicks entered this series with arguably the hottest offense in the NBA, a top-tier defense, fresh legs after an extended break, and a completely new offensive wrinkle that Cleveland hasn't had much time to prepare for. The one thing that could bring the Knicks back to earth is their scorching 40.8% three-point shooting, which is difficult to sustain over a long playoff run. If those shots stop falling, New York becomes far more dependent on Brunson, creating everything himself. And that's where Cleveland has its opportunity. For the Cavaliers to capitalize, they'll need their stars to answer. Donovan Mitchell remains the engine of the offense, averaging 25.6 points per game, while continuing to prove he can create for others when defenses load up on him. James Harden has transformed Cleveland half-court offense into arriving, providing scoring, playmaking, and veteran composure. Although the biggest question is whether his legs can hold up after two exhausting 7-game series. Jarrett Allen anchors the paint as a rim protector, lob threat, and elite finisher, while Max Struss and Sam Merrill provide the floor spacing that keeps Cleveland's offense flowing. Dennis Schroeder, Dean Wade, Kean Ellis, and Jalen Tyson round out a deep rotation with defense, energy, and shooting. But as important as all those players are, the Cavaliers' championship hopes ultimately hinge on one man besides Mitchell, Evan Mobley. His ability to defend Towns without compromising Cleveland's interior defense could be the single biggest factor that determines who advances to the NBA Finals. Before we get any further, a quick word from today's sponsor, Prize Picks. With the NBA playoffs in full swing, there's no better time to make every game even more exciting. If you enjoy playing responsibly and have a means to do so, Prize Picks is one of the easiest ways to add a little extra action while you're already watching the games. The concept is simple. You pick more or less on a handful of player stats, lock in your lineup, and you're good to go. If you're new to Prize Picks, use code HMA, play your first $5 lineup, and you'll receive $50 in lineup credits. The link is pinned in the description. For tonight's slate, I'm rolling with Jalen Brunson under on rebounds plus assists, Karl-Anthony Towns over on assists, and Max Struss over on points. If you're interested, check out the link below. Sign up with code HMA and enjoy the playoff action. Now, let's get back to the breakdown. Everyone is going to focus on Donovan Mitchell, and understandably so. He's Cleveland's superstar, the offensive engine, and a player capable of taking over any game. He just finished a dominant Game 7 with 26 points, 8 assists, and 0 turnovers. But while Mitchell will grab the headlines, he may not be the player who ultimately decides the series. That responsibility could fall on Evan Mobley. Mitchell is going to score. That's never been the question. The real concern entering the playoffs was whether he could consistently make the right reads once defenses forced the ball out of his hands. Through his first 2 playoff rounds, his playmaking had been inconsistent. Then Game 7 changed the conversation. 8 assists, 0 turnovers, complete control of the offense. If that version of Mitchell shows up throughout this series, Cleveland becomes a much more dangerous team than many expected. The problem is that New York presents a completely different defensive challenge than Detroit. The Knicks can rotate OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart onto Mitchell, throwing fresh, physical defenders at him all game long. They'll crowd his driving lanes, force him into difficult jumpers, and make every possession a grind. That means the ball will inevitably end up in Evan Mobley's hands. And that's exactly where this series could be decided. When Mobley catches a ball on the short roll or at the elbow, he has to make the defense pay. If he simply hesitates or swings the ball back around the perimeter, New York's defense resets, their rotations recover, and Cleveland's offense starts from scratch. But if Mobley attacks immediately, finding Jared Allen for a lob, hitting an open shoot in the corner, or driving straight to the rim, the Knicks' aggressive defense suddenly becomes a weakness instead of a strength. That's why Mobley's decision-making may be even more important than his scoring. His postseason numbers back it up. He's averaging 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks while shooting an efficient 54% from the field. More importantly, Cleveland looks like a different team when he's aggressive. We saw it in Game 5 against Detroit when he knocked down a clutch fourth-quarter three, and we saw it again in Game 7. The Cavaliers need that version of Mobley every single night if they're going to beat New York. Mike Brown and the Knicks understand this. Their defensive game plan will be built around forcing Mobley to become the primary decision-maker. They'll happily live with the ball in his hands if they believe he won't consistently punish them. Whether he embraces a challenge or fades into background could determine who wins the series. While most people will spend the next few days debating Jalen Brunson versus Donovan Mitchell or Karl-Anthony Towns versus Evan Mobley, the biggest factor might be something much less glamorous: the three-point battle between the role players. Cleveland allowed opponents to shoot 37.2% from beyond the arc during the regular season, and that's a dangerous weakness against a Knicks team loaded with shooters. Bridges, Hart, McBride, Shamet, Anunoby, Towns, and Brunson